Welcome. I haven't posted a video in ages, so I thought I'd post one this morning, starting at the shade house. As you can see, my shade house has very few stuff in there actually. I have a few starts that I did over the last couple of months. Those aren't mine. And somebody gave me an apple tree, which is an interesting plant as we don't have chill hours for that to grow. I've also finished the floor. So it has rocks and gravel, but now the fabric is torn, so I gotta go figure out how to fix that. Not sure about that yet. I also have a few random bits here and over there and all over the rest of the yard. I'm not sure where I left off from the last video, so I'm just gonna shoot what I have and what I can remember. This is a new planter bed I'm installing here, which is on one side of the shade house. I have another one on the other side. This is just a work in progress. I just started that this week. Then the other planter bed, which I have over here on the other side of the shade house, had strawberries over the winter season. But since it's been hot and no rain, they've mostly died. This one looks like it's hanging on for its life, but I will refresh this and plant some more stuff. I also have some dandelions still here. Then in the potted plants, I have this fig. I just repotted this a couple weeks ago and it's doing massively well. I also have some garlic chives, some lemon balm, a rosemary plant. I do have some more rosemary plant in the ground, but they're actually in the new chicken enclosure. In the planters, I also have this dragon fruit. I built the trellis from the plants from the Epic Homestead. You can check their video out, and it has been a game changer. Since I've put the dragon fruit in, it has massively grown. That's actually 4 plants together, because the trellis actually fits 4. I can't wait for it to reach the top and start producing. This bed is my calendula bed. I use it to make calendula oil, and so I have quite a bit of flowers here I need to harvest. And of course, there's some zinnias in here too, as they're my favorite flowers. If you notice from last videos I've shot, I'll probably post a link in the video here, the garden has changed significantly. Before, this used to be the full garden, all growing space. I've actually taken out some of the growing space and given the chickens a full outdoor run rather than having them free range in the extra space and having the garden fully fenced. What I had a problem with, why I changed it, is that I had a lot of Bermuda grass growing in the garden. You can still see it here in the pathway. Mark you, the chickens have taken it out because it was high and I couldn't keep track basically with it. So there's still this. And it's creeping its way into the garden bed, so I'm going to have to deal with that. But I hate weeding. Let's just be honest about it. I don't know anybody who likes weeding. And so, this is where we're at. Right now, in the height of summer, I have some corn tasseling and some other corn that have not reached the tasseling stage yet. I also have some peppers, which are still in the ground from last year. Well, December, October, whenever I planted them, and they're still producing for me. I just watered them and fertilized. I also planted some cherry tomatoes, and I'm actually using a pruning method. I've never pruned tomatoes before, so this is my first time. I would have built a different trellis, but honestly I ran out of time and they needed to be done, so I just did them. I also have tomatoes coming up. These are only cherry tomatoes I have here. These are black cherry and sungolds. These are the only 2 tomatoes I'm growing right now. There are some sungolds hanging out on the tree. Then in this bed I have zinnias, quite a few zinnias. They're just starting to bloom. Sunflower, peppers, okra, aubergine or eggplant, and some seasoning herbs, chives, some sad looking celery, and that's it for this bed. The 2 beds on this side are actually empty. I'm besides the sunflowers, because I needed a bit of color. I'm gonna probably start planting those. I have some more tomato starts that I can put in here. Then between the two different varieties of corn, this is one variety which has not been started tasseling yet, and this is that's a field corn, and this one is actually a sweet corn which is tasseling, has tasseled, and my corn looks a little strange, but I do have some pest pressure. If you notice the leaves, there's some holes, and I'm not sure what that is. Then between them I have some watermelon, which I'm not sure about. I also have beans planted between the corn and winter squash, which is basically Seminole pumpkin, which is good for the hot weather. Then as we come back out, this was my old chicken enclosure. Well, there's still a chicken in there, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this space next. This is still the garden. This is the edge where the fence used to be. What I did here is that I just created a pollinator row. These are flowers and herbs to make it attractive to pollinators so they can come to the garden. Then further down here, I put in a raised bed. This is just made with rocks I picked up off the side of the road. And this has in sweet potato and cassava and a Mexican sunflower. Over here is also going to continue the pollinator row. I have some Mexican sunflowers in here, but I need to plant some more stuff. I'll probably add some more zinnias since I have a lot of zinnia seeds. Then here I have one Mexican tarragon, which is a plant I dug up when I moved the girls over here. And then over here is the plantain. I've got quite a few plantains coming up, and I have quite a bit of work here I want to do. So far, I've just lined it with rocks and kind of dug out some of the weeds. If you notice, I got plantains here. I want to actually plant some more understory. Well, that's a lie. I actually did plant some understory stuff here. Here I got arugula. There's a volunteer papaya coming up there. This is kale. This is the pepper and some amaranth. The amaranths are volunteers. The peppers I dug up from the compost. And then I planted some sage that I had in pots there. So this is the compost here. Bottom has broken down, but it still has quite a bit of carbon in here. I want to turn it, and the bottom that has done some work, I want to actually add it back to this bed here. I'm going to have to put a step in the center because I can't walk or reach all the way in, but it is what it is. But as I was saying, there's a lot of plantains. I think I have 3 or so bunches out and another one coming out right now. Then if we go on, this is a chicken house. Nothing much has changed. Basically, I added a little indoor hut inside the chicken house, as well as giving them a full run where they can free range. Although they've already grazed it down to nothing, so I gave them some greens this morning, and I will continue to add stuff here from the garden to compost in place. And I'm thinking I'm going to put another little house outside so they can hang out outside when it's hot, because mostly when it gets hot in the day and it's sunny, they go inside and relax. For the quote-unquote orchard-ish area, I have lemon tree. This lemon tree has been doing great since I moved it. It was just languishing in its previous spot, but this time it's gotten here and it has grown significantly. It's almost taller than me. I'm not sure what's wrong with it, why the leaves are so twisted, but it's still putting on quite a bit of new growth. So you can see that here. Then I have sweet sop, aka sugar apple. I have 4 trees like this in the garden up here, and they're producing well. I do need to pick some. I've been sharing them with the birds and the lizards, but I need to get in here and get my hands on this. It's been raining too, so I haven't been as diligent. This here is an orange tree. It has done nothing much before, so I kind of planted other things around it, and now it's trying to do something. I'm sure this tree is almost as old as the seed garden, but it's only this big. I also planted in some nitrogen fixers lately, which you can see one here, which is logwood. It's also a favorite of the bees for honey. While I'm here, the sugar apple is ready. Let's take it one time. I need to come out here today and finish the picking before it starts to rain. This is another sweet sop, aka sugar apple. It's a purple variety. This one is doing good too. Way less fruit, but this is planted later than the other trees. If you see here, this one's almost ready. Then around the compost, I have a lot of volunteers. There's a lot of peppers. I actually have a loofah, which I've trained to run up on the fence. I don't know if you can see that too well. I'm gonna have to go around from the other end. And some more amaranth, a passion fruit that doesn't need to be here, a volunteer tomato, papaya, some more zinnias, another pepper. This is also citrus. I'm not sure what it is. It's actually flushing out now, so I guess I'll just have to wait and see. It's from seed. Then this is another one of my nitrogen fixers, logwood. I took out the tree that was here because I find it was shading too much and not giving the rest of the plants a chance to grow. So this is the volunteer loofah I was talking about. Let's hope I can keep it alive and get some loofahs, because I love having loofahs at home. Then here I have this aloe vera. It was actually over there by the raised bed there, just put in, and I don't need it there. This is a lime tree. This is the one that produces the huge limes with very little seeds, but it had on a couple of limes, but they dropped. I think it's getting too much shade from the coconut, but the coconut is looking really good. It actually has trunked, so I'm expecting to have coconut soon. Ignore the feed bags, those are just a bunch of animal poop. Then I have the gooseberry, raspberry, however you pronounce it in your country, and it was loaded with fruit. Then we had rain and a windstorm, and they all got knocked over. Then I have custard apple here, which is inside my same orchard area. This bin here is part of my compost plan, which I need to do some work on. That's just dead leaves from one of the trees in the front. Then I have another citrus here. This citrus has done exceptionally well for being shaded. It's not flushing right now, but it also has that weird stuff on the leaves. And I'm not sure what on earth that is. If anybody knows, you can probably put it in the comments. It's still growing though. It's another sugar apple, sweet sop. Then I have another coconut down here. Actually, I have 3 coconuts down here. This one is trunked. That one is looking too, and that one is growing pretty well. Besides that, the cherries on the fence are blooming, so I don't come up here too often, as the bees go crazy for that. Then down here, I'll show it. Got a pile of crap. This is actually wood that I'm going to use to burn in my grill / outdoor cooking area, so I need to cut it up, but I gotta get to that. Then this sapodilla tree. It's actually looking pretty sad since the rain came. It was way more buffy and fluffed out before this, but who knows. But it has a lot of fruit on it. I'm still having a problem getting fruit because I think the bats love them more than me, but I guess that's life. Then this is the other purple sweet sop I have in the garden. The fruit on this one is not as big as they were. I think it hasn't gotten enough water, but then this is the driest part of the yard, so I can't do anything about this right now. I just work with what I get. Then the tamarind tree has exploded. It's huge. I got a great crop of tamarind this year from it. I need to prune it because it's too big, and if I continue letting it grow like this, it's just going to be out of control. I actually pruned a little bit off of it, but I need to spend some time really bringing it back in shape. Then up here is my usual pallet bin. I've actually reduced the size a bit because I'm trying to reduce the amount of waste that I take off the property and use most of the waste back in the garden. Then the beautiful cherry trees, they're still here. So that's this side of the garden. The other half of the garden is pretty plain. I've got the citrus tree here, which is the Meyer lemon. It's grown significantly, but it hasn't fruited since the first year I planted it, and I don't know why. Then my signature palm at the gate is doing pretty well in terms of size. It does have some sort of nutrient deficiency, but I'm not feeding it, so I don't worry about it. Then the cherry tree fence has exploded since the last rain. There's so many blossoms and the bees just stay up here. I also planted another pomegranate, which is a blood red pomegranate. This is another logwood, which is a nitrogen fixer. And then if you look here, let me zoom in for a closer look. You can see cherries. I picked some the other day and made juice, and they're more ripening. But I only pick in the evenings because the bees are up here during the day. Because it's overcast, that's why they're not here right now. Or I would be somewhere else. Pomegranate tree has on pomegranates, but they're drying out a bit. I think this is not getting enough water. You can see the same with the coconut trees that I planted here recently. The grapevines have just started to bud out. This one is way bigger than everything else, but this does get water. It's actually blooming. So I do hope to have another good crop from this one this year. I did get a good crop last season from this one. Then this one here, which is the driest, is the last to bud out. Maybe if I can figure out some irrigation, I can get this one to produce also. Now down here I'm walking into the apiary. I still only have one hive, but it's performing well. I managed to harvest some honey a few weeks ago, so that was good. I actually don't like coming down here when the bees are in residence, like now, since it's overcast. Still haven't managed to catch a swarm in this box yet, but I'm still hopeful. So we'll see what the season brings, because it's swarming season just beginning right now. But these guys have been doing pretty good. Although they've gotten more aggressive, I don't know why. But we'll see. Their temperament changes, but they're still pretty calm relative to other bees. The coconut tree over here is doing fantastic also. So there you have it. That's a basic garden update on what's going on around here. I'll try to post a few more videos more consistently, at least weekly. So we'll see how that goes. My problem has never been the videoing. It has always been the editing. So hopefully now I have some more time on my hands. I can use my time and edit some more videos. Videos will come out either Monday or Tuesday. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Bye.